Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests.
Good evening.
A very warm welcome to the Bangalore Toastmasters Club. A very happy Valentine's Day to everyone. Thank you for this one. So, this, what does Valentine's Day mean to you? Just say it in one word. Okay. Very common, very general answer is love. So we are celebrating love today in this club, and to truly, feel the love in the room, kindly put your phones on silent. Give me a thumbs up if you're done. Okay, well, I think you already revised the rules, but let's go with it again. The second rule is, since it is Valentine's Day, we obviously can't stop being mesmerized by the opposite gender. So we'll avoid talking about religion and politics just for today's meeting and keep it in limits. The third but not last is kindly walk across the whole room, exit and enter the hall only when you hear an applause. Sounds easy?
Yes.
Okay. Very smart audience. So the person I'm about to introduce onto the stage has been struck by Cupid's arrow not once but twice. Don't worry, he does not have two wives. Once by his actual wife, and second by his true call for teaching. He is a teacher who has been teaching for so many years, and not only that, but he has been Toastmaster since 8 years. So he's an experienced Toastmasters. That's why he's the president also. Give a huge round of applause to Toastmaster Sheeb, the president of Bangalore Toastmasters Club.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shreya. I have a correction. Not 8 years, maybe 3 plus 2 years, total 5 years. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Bangalore Toastmasters meeting number 1466. I call to order meeting number 1466. Before I proceed, I request our acting secretary, Toastmaster Bryan Souza, to give a snapshot of last week's meeting 1465.
You have not traveled back in time. I am the acting secretary today. Let's go over what happened in the previous meeting number 1465, which happened on the 7th of February 2025, with the theme "Overnight Success Takes Years to Build." Word of the day was meteoric. The awardees are as follows. The best speaker went to Toastmaster Vishal, Vasantha Kumar, with the speech title English. The best evaluator went to Toastmaster Veeresh. The best role taker, Toastmaster Puneet Surana, the table topic master of the day. The best tag team player, Ujjant Ramesh, was the timer, and the best table topic speaker was Toastmaster Ganesh Pai. The meeting had 2 prepared speeches and a budget meeting. The total attendees in terms of members was 32 and the guest count was 13. Back to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Bryan. Members, is there any amendments in the minutes of the meeting? No. The minutes of the meeting 1465 stands fast. Thank you so much. I request the guest who has come here for the first time, can you please rise? Thank you so much for joining with us. Hope you'll have a wonderful time. And members, how do we welcome them? If you ask about love, Toastmaster Shreya, for her, love is nothing. It's extreme. Either love is nothing for her or love all, because she's a badminton player.
Oh.
When was the last time you wrote a love letter? I have wrote many love letters, but only to one person, my ex-girlfriend. But before you judge me, let me clarify. She even called me today. Yes. And whenever I introduce her, I tell her, meet my ex-girlfriend. Just to see her reaction. And not only her reaction, the reaction of the other person. And then I give the slight punchline, she's my wife. Yes. But when you talk about love, it's not about pleasantries all the time, right? So I want to take you back to some time back when I was in college. I was just out of college, armed with a job and ready to marry. And then we fell in love, definitely. And obviously our family showed not the red flag, the green flag. But she was in college, so we had to wait for 2.5 years. And there is no other way, And those times, meeting quite often was not as possible as nowadays. And so we wrote letters. So I just poured my heart out. And even if you read those letters, I can even beat Shakespeare and Shelley for a month. So what happened is, I never knew that. I thought I was romantic, but little did I realize that I was signing legal contracts, which would resurface against me as evidence. Now that she shows me those letters and says, why don't you take me to Switzerland? You promise, and you promise you never watch cricket. And add insult to injury, she shows the letters to my daughter. and she wonders out there, my dad was so romantic on those days. The thing is, and she put all those letters in a briefcase with a number on it. So I can't take it out and destroy it. But what I understand in marriage is, definitely, marriage is a relationship where you have space for love as well as for sarcasm. Definitely. Sometimes you fight for that TV remote, but you end up watching her favorite show. And sometimes you just fight for the last bite of cake as if you're just pretending that you are just acting. But in marriage, you may fight. But what I realize now is, even when we fight, we sometimes hold hands. And those 4 words, right? You love a person for who they were or who they are. So remember why you started. Whenever we have a fight, we just think about that. Why I fell in love with her, the person she was. So as we say here, love should be a steady flame, not a fleeting spark. And to take this meeting forward, we have someone who was born in the land of God's own country and brought up in the city of gods, that is Varanasi. It means she's neither a South Indian nor a North Indian. What does it mean? It means whenever she looks at a food menu, it's a national crisis. Chole bhature or appam and stew. Butter naan or puttu or kadala. And she is an electronics and communication engineer from Cochin University of Science and Technology, and where he has truly also studied. Yes, the greatness runs in alumni. And in the world of reels, I believe she brings feels. And she's a voracious reader. And she actually has moved from the land of pages to the land of stages. And over and above, she is a data analyst with Deloitte. That means today she will be analyzing something important. She's been closely analyzing our attention span today. When I was born, I was so bright and shining, so my mom called me sun. When she was born, she was dazzling like a diamond. I think her parents must have worn sunglasses indoors. So take this meeting forward. Please give it up for the twinkle, twinkle, little star who has no more than just wondering who you are, from the land of or world of books to the stage of hooks. jewel, shining like a jewel, and words so divine. Give it up for the Toastmaster of the evening, Toastmaster Jewel, Mariam, Moncy.
They say, when you like a flower, you pluck it immediately. But when you love a flower, you water it daily. Good evening, dear Toastmasters and guests.
Good evening.
I'm someone who grew up watching these iconic Bollywood movies with their romantic songs shot in snow-capped mountains and serene lakes, and the chemistry of these lead actors blossoming when they're singing and dance in colorful dresses. So, in my early years, the idea of love was defined by Bollywood. As I grew up, my love bubble came crashing down, and as I faced reality, and one day, I was going to lose my faith in love when one morning I saw my father hand over a cup of tea to my mother. In a very smiling way, in a very loving way. And that's the moment I know what real love is. My father has been my mom's greatest cheerleader, supporting her for all her dreams and goals. He's been very patient and understanding when she is going through tough times. My parents' love has taught me to pursue for steady and reliable love and not for a fleeting spark, which exactly is the theme for today. Now, there was another man who was so much in love with the humanity. He saw these young men struggling in confidence and in public speaking, that out of love he decided to start the first Toastmasters Club in Santa Ana in 1924. It was none other than Dr. Ralsei Smedley. Over the years, our Toastmasters community has grown, and today we have more than 14,000 clubs across the globe. A typical Toastmasters meeting has 3 segments. The first segment is the prepared speeches. So prepared speeches is like love letter. You have to write a script, you have to review it, you have to edit it, you have to recite it and practice it before you perform it in front of your lover, the audience. So today we have 3 speakers with their prepared speeches. The second segment is the table topics segment. The table topics is the impromptu session. That means one topic will be given to you on the spot and you have to talk about it for 1 to 2 minutes. You will not be given any time for preparation. It's just like if someone asks you on a date and you don't want to go, you have to come up with something quickly, right? So that you don't offend the other person, like I have to take my pet to the doctor or something like that. You don't get time to, think. You have to think something on the feet. So table topics is like that. The third segment is the evaluation segment. Evaluation segment helps us to understand how the meeting is going and for the next meeting, how we can make it better. It's just like, evaluating a date you went to. Like, I should not have spilled coffee on his face just because he asked my age. Things like that. So, the evaluation is conducted by a general evaluator, which I'll introduce in some time. So he is supported by 3 tag players, the timer, our counter, and grammarian. For timer, we have someone who believes his perfect date with his wife is doing mundane things like cooking, cleaning, talking, and going on long walks. He works in a logistics company in the strategy department. I invite Toastmaster Nitesh Kumar to read out his role.
Thank you, Joel. Good evening to my fellow Toastmasters and my dear My name is Veeresh and I'm the timer for today. My job is to make sure that everyone speaks as per their allotted time and the meeting runs smoothly so that everyone leaves to their loved ones at least for today on time. To do this job, I have 3 color cards. I will be showing the progress with this. I have the green card, then the yellow card, and then the red card. For the prepared speeches, the timeline is for 5 to 7 minutes. At 5 minutes, I will show the green card. At 6, I will show the yellow, and at 7, I will show the red card. There is a grace period of 30 seconds during which the speaker needs to wrap up the speech to avoid any disqualifications. I will ring a bell once the grace period is over. That's it from at the end of the speech. I will be presenting my report when called upon by the general evaluator. That's it from my side.
Thank you, Toastmaster Veeresh. For the R counter, we have someone who believes putting the other person first is the key to a long-lasting relationship. His experience in sales has always helped him to build better communication and relationships with ease. Please join me in welcoming Toastmaster Srinivas to read out his role.
Good evening, Toastmasters and my dear guest. When you're about to propose your girlfriend or a boyfriend, the mood is set, the ring in your pocket, the flowers are set perfectly. When you're just about to propose, when your tongues got gridlocked, what will you do?
Run.
That's where I come into picture to help you to track off your clutch words like I, etc. And I'll keep tracking off those words and I'll give you a report at the end of adjournment. Over to you.
Thank you, Srinivas. Now for the grammarian role, we have someone who is very calm and composed when she is otherwise, but when she is on the stage, she's full of energy, bubbly and chirpy. She is a yoga instructor by her profession. Please join me in inviting Toastmaster Rashi to read out her role.
A very good evening to dear members and guests. As the grammarian today, I will be looking out for the good and the not so good usage of the English language. So just like love, language needs care and attention. Make sure while giving your speeches, you are not moving into grammar mishaps or falling into the trap of burning like a flame. And to introduce the word of the day, it is enamored, which means to deeply be in love with something or to be fascinated by something. To use it in a sentence, I am enamored by the speeches given by the Toastmasters here. So I hope all of you use the word of the day and keep in mind the language. Back to you, take it up. Toastmasters.
So we'll move to the first segment of our Toastmasters meeting, that is prepared speeches. The first speaker is attempting his level 1 project 2 under the pathway persuasive influence. Before I introduce the first speaker, let me introduce the evaluator. Evaluator is someone like me who admires her parents' love story so much that she wishes to have a similar story of her own someday. Our past president, Toastmaster Priyanka Raunore, please read out the guidelines.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and your guests.
Good evening.
The target speaker is attempting level 1 project 2 from persuasive influence pathway, and the purpose of the project is for the member to learn or review basic methods for writing speech with a defined purpose and to present a well-organized speech on any topic. Timer, please note the speech length is 5 to 7 minutes. Over to you.
cannot compromise, you cannot love. He believes that respect and understanding is very important for a successful relationship. He works as a principal growth head in the Google. Please, his speech titled "The US Dollar, the Drug You Cannot Live Without." Please join me in welcoming Toastmaster Anirudh with a speech titled "The US Drug You Cannot Live Without."
How many of you recently read the news that today, to get a single US dollar, you need to give away 88 Indian rupees? Many of you did. That's great. Recently, I'd gone for coffee with DTM Vijay Anand sir, and he was telling me for Valentine's Day, he was looking to buy a lot of gold for his wife, a lot of gold jewelry. And when he went into Joy Lucas in Jayanagar, he was very surprised by how expensive the gold prices had become. How many of you also constantly notice everywhere around you, prices for everything seem to be only going up? Salt is going up, food is going up. Go ahead, raise your hands, Toastmasters. This affects each and every one of you. All of you notice this. Now, you might all think, is this random? Is this just a coincidence that things are becoming more and more expensive? Let me assure you, Toastmasters, it is most definitely not. We live in a world today where a single country's financial decisions affects your financial well-being, your savings, your investments, your children's and your financial future are affected by the United States dollar. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and honored guests. My name is Anirudh Jattangi, and today I have a very, very simple purpose. I would like to first help you understand the history behind the United States becoming the world's reserve currency. I want all of you to understand the implications in your day-to-day lives. And finally, I want to empower each and every one of you in order to take prudent financial decisions that will save your financial future. Alright, let's begin. The story actually begins in 1944. It was the midst of World War II. All the nations that participated in World War II in some form or the other were in shambles. Death, destruction, economic collapse. That's what they were facing. So the United States, which was at that point the biggest exporter of weapons, arms, and a huge amount of resources to these nations, called 44 different allied nations to a place known as Bretton Woods in New Hampshire. The purpose of this conference was that they wanted to speak to all these nations and tie their individual currencies to the United States dollar, which would then be tied to the value of gold. Now, why would 44 different nations agree to this? Because at that point of time, what the world needed was stability. They needed an anchor to keep stability, because without stability, you cannot recover. Without stability, you cannot stage an economic comeback. And so in 1944, they all agreed and tied their entire currency to the United States dollar. Now, as time passed, we got to the 1960s, and as the United States typically always does, it started abusing the dollar. It started printing more of it. And the nations that had pegged their dollar to the United States realized that the United States might not be able to satisfy their commitments of being able to give gold because it's now pegged to the United States dollar. So then they started repatriating gold. They started giving the dollars that they had and asking the US, saying, give us back the gold that we have for the value of the dollar. And then the US woke up. In 1971, President Nixon came on air and boldly declared, we are now going to sever the connection between gold and the dollar. At that moment, ladies and gentlemen, was the defining moment of the last 2 centuries. Because it was the birth of the fiat currency, the currencies that we all use today. Now, as time passed, the United States pulled off another strategic, bold move. They went to Saudi Arabia and said, dear Saudi Arabia, we know you're having a lot of geopolitical instability, a lot of rebels, a lot of warmongering amongst your neighbors. We will give you financial security, but in return, you have to promise us that every single barrel of oil that you sell will be now priced in the United States dollar. Think about this, Toastmasters. Think about the strategic move that they made. In one move, they destroyed their need to have gold, and in another hand, they created an incredible demand for the dollar because now every single country in the world that requires oil needs dollars. What a master move. What a master class. Now, you might be all wondering, what does this have to do with me? I live in India. I care about the rupee. Remember, Toastmasters, that we live in a globalized world. And India also has its own need of United States dollars. We are a massive oil importer. We have 1.4 billion people who require oil for day-to-day needs. And all this is invoiced in the United States dollar. So when the United States wakes up for its own internal economic reasons and decides to print trillions of dollars, what happens? More dollars come into existence. More dollars find their way into financial markets in the world, and this causes inflation. Now, paired with this, investors' obsession with the United States dollar means that despite them being able to print money, it doesn't lose value. What loses value? Our currency loses value. We lose, ladies and gentlemen. The Indian rupee falls. And this is why we see so much inflation and so much exuberance of wealth concentration happening in one part of the world. Now let's come to what you and I can do about this. Look, it's important to remember that this is a global system. It stood the test of time for 80 odd years. There's nothing that you or I could go and change this today. But what can we do? The first step that we can all take, and the most important step, is to educate ourselves about financial markets. Educate ourselves about investing. That is the way, the only way you can become truly self-sufficient and secure your financial future. The second step, and this is a rule of thumb, is to, as much as you can, completely avoid holding rupees in your bank account. If you hold rupees in your bank account because you think that's a stable bet, I'm sorry, but you are mistaken. The rupee erodes in value by 6 to 7% or by 4 to 5% every single year, which means you lose 4 to 5% every single year. If you have an FD for 6%, you actually only gain 2%. Think about this. And the last step, and the most important step, is for each and every one of you to build a diversified portfolio. What does a diversified portfolio look like? What it looks like is building assets that have a negative correlation with the dollar. In case the value of the dollar falls, these assets go up in value. And these assets could be gold, silver, international stocks, etc., etc. To conclude, Toastmasters, I would like to remind you that you are all not passive listeners, but active participants in this story. I know our theme is love should not be a steady flame, but remember, your financial education should be a steady flame and not a fleeting spark. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anirudh. Let's give it up once again for Toastmaster Anirudh. The next speaker is here to attempt his level 3 project 1 under the pathway dynamic leadership. The evaluator for this speaker is someone who said he loves Ramayana and he lives by the Ramayana, and his love story is like Ramayana. So I thought he would be playing the role of Ram, but he said he's playing the role of Sita. So he's the one who is doing the sacrifices and everything. He said he sacrificed desires, ambitions, everything for his wife. So please join me in welcoming the Sita of our generation, Toastmaster Bhatt.
Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. Good evening. The speaker is attempting a project called Negotiate the Best Outcome, and there are two purpose statements for this project. The first purpose is for the member to learn about different types of negotiation and the strategies that can be used when negotiating. The second statement is for the member to share some aspect of a past or a future negotiation in their life and this should not be a report on the content of Negotiate the Best Outcome project. So, time manager, please note time is 5 to 7 minutes. All the best to the speaker. Back to you.
So the next speaker is someone who wants to be like Shah Rukh Khan. He says his favorite movie is Kuch Kuch Hota Hai, and his idea of a perfect date is a candlelight dinner with his wife. His was a love marriage, and I asked who proposed, and he said, definitely boys have to propose, girls won't do unless you are. He works as a cybersecurity manager in Wells Fargo. Please join me in welcoming Toastmaster Srinivas with his speech titled, The Best Valentine Gift is Securing Our Future. Toastmaster Srinivas, the best Valentine gift is securing our future.
Quick mic check. Yeah, thanks. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and my dear guest.
Good evening.
Wish you a happy Valentine's Day.
You too.
So today is a day of love and connection. So I'm here to share a story of my life, which is my wife and I, how we secured our future. Last year, around December month, near to Christmas, my wife and I were having a cup of coffee, early morning coffee. And that's where she decided to ask me, what are you thinking about life, future, and school, education for my children and all those things. All these months I was thinking about it, but later she asked me that question, what if due to unexpected event we don't meet our financial goal? And I was evading this question from long. Yes. I was saying I was busy with Toastmasters, office and all, but this time she was very serious because December month, I can't evade it. So, yes, the stare on me was very much, and like any other husband, I understood what she meant. She wanted a life insurance, which I was not working upon. And that evening, I decided, okay, let me listen to my wife. I started researching on my Google, but to my surprise, 100 odd companies are giving an insurance with so many terms and conditions. It's very difficult to understand that. That's why I thought it's better to get an expert advice. And that's where my friend helped me and referred me to go to Policy Bazaar. And that's where I met the person, Kumar, who helped me get the policy. But that's not the end. The interesting part is next. So, as usual, as a salesman, he was giving my terms and conditions. I said, Ashlesh, I understand your terms and conditions. Believe me, I'm really healthy. And I really don't take any risk in life. And his question was, okay sir, I got it. So, my only goal that evening was to negotiate, to get a best life insurance policy for me and my family, and with the lowest premium. So generally negotiations are like many types. A few common negotiation styles are competitive negotiation style. Second is collaborative negotiation style. So I thought, let me use competitive negotiation style. Being a typical Indian, all our grandmothers and grandfathers have told us to bargain it well, correct? From childhood. Yes, I followed it. I said, I have so many insurance companies giving me best things. What are you giving, Ashlesh? And as usual, Ashlesh give me stare and say, Sir, understand na. It's quite complicated. Cheap is not best, you know. Oh. I think understood this competitive negotiation is not working. I switched my gear. With what? Collaborative style. That's where I asked him, tell me ways how can we reduce this premium? How those questions have made the shift in Ashley's behavior. And from the discussion of I to we, that's where he said, sir, we can look for all your requirements, and I would suggest that Bajaj Alliance would be very good for you because it has some discount and it has all the protection. That's where my wife pitched in. She had done a lot of research in this subject. Said, what about policy details and claim ratios? And Ashley gave all those things. And that's where he said, sir, with all these things, this should be your best policy. I said, okay. Then he said, sir, for first time, this company is giving a discount of 10%, including a salaried person's discount and the first time buyer. Since you are a first time buyer, we are giving this discount. And I got my signal from my wife. I said, she smiled, and then I understood she is okay with that. So that smile was enough for me to say, okay, that's the grabbing deal. So I said, can we proceed? And finally, we purchased the life insurance. And because of the collaborative style of negotiation, we were able to negotiate and get the best deal with the lowest premium and with all the claim ratios things. So with this, my friend, what did I say on a Valentine's Day? On generally in life, what I feel is we are all competing, but miracles will happen if you collaborate with people. Why do I say that? Valentine's Day is all about collaboration, isn't it? And that's why finally I would say is alone I can go fast, but together we can definitely go far. With this, I would like to PM.
Together we can go further. That was a very good quote to end on. Let's give it again for Toastmaster Srinivas. So what's a Valentine's Day without a love story? So the next speaker is here to narrate his favorite love story. He is attempting level 3 elective under the pathway presentation mastery. The evaluator for this speaker is someone who acts as a cupid for the marketing. He matches these brands with the perfect data. Please join me in welcoming Toastmaster Vivek Vijayan to read out the guidelines.
This is a very nice project called as Connect with Storytelling. The purpose of this project is for the member to practice using a story within a speech or giving a speech that is a story. Back to you.
Now, this speaker, when I asked him what is the key to a successful relationship, he said there are 3: accept, appreciate, and adjust. Follow this and you will have a beautiful relationship. He works as a professor and head of research in Sindhi College. He is the diamond of our club. He is the guiding light, mentor, guide to so many of us. It's my honor to invite DTF Rajdeep Manwani with his speech titled A Love Story. DTF Rajdeep.
It was a breezy Saturday morning in Chennai. Ramachandra Iyer sat in his two-bedroom apartment on the third floor and was sipping a cup of coffee with a newspaper in his hand. As he was enjoying his coffee and feeling the beautiful sea breeze which came in, he heard a screeching sound. The screeching sound of his wife. "Look at your daughter! Again, she's not listening to me!" Ramachandra Iyer had known all along, whenever his wife said "your daughter," that means there was something wrong. The last time when she had got good marks, she said, "See, my daughter had got such good marks." And he knew that there was something wrong. As he turned, he saw his 7-year-old daughter Lakshmi, whom they affectionately called Putta, struggling with a bowl of curd rice. His wife Parvati was forcing her to eat that curd rice which she hated to eat. Parvati screamed again, "Look at her! She doesn't even want to eat 2 spoons!" Ramachandra's mother, whom they affectionately called Pati, chimed in, "These children only want to eat fast food nowadays." Ramachandran Iyer decided to step in and finish the conflict. He went up to his daughter, Lakshmi, and said, "Putta, please eat those spoons, at least 2 spoons of curd rice. Your mama is getting angry. Please do it." Lakshmi, with her big, beautiful eyes and long hair, smiled at her father and said, in between tears, "Appa, I will eat the full bowl of curd rice, but you have to promise me one thing." He said, "Yes, what do you want me to promise you?" "You have to promise me that whatever I ask you, you will give it to me." Ramachandra Iyer had known all this time that children are the best negotiators and influencers, better than even Valentine Day's insurance brokers. He said, "Okay, I will give you whatever you want, but eat this curd rice." "Appa, I told you I'll eat the full curd rice." Ramachandra Iyer went and sat on his sofa, and from the corner of his eye he saw his daughter gulping down the curd rice, feeling so bad for her because she hated to eat curd rice. After she had finished the bowl, Lakshmi ran up to her father, jumped on his lap, put her arms around her dad and said, "Appa, now you promised me, no, you'll give me whatever you want." Ramachandran felt a little stuck. He said, "Yeah, Putta, I'll give you whatever you want, but remember, don't ask anything expensive, you know. Appa's not so rich." No, it's not expensive, Appa. I want something else, not at all expensive." He said, "What do you want?" "Appa, tomorrow's Sunday, no, Appa?" She said, "Yeah, tomorrow's Sunday." "Appa." And as she said "Appa," she noticed that her mother and her grandmother were also staring at her. So she went a little closer to his ears, but said in a very audible tone, "Appa, I want my hair to be shaved tomorrow." Ramachandran Iyer felt a shock. He felt as if he had put his hand in a 220-volt socket. "What? You want to shave your head?" Parvati screamed, "Oh my God, look at these children. They are watching TV and their culture has become like this." Party screamed from the other side, "Inauspicious. A girl's head has to be shaved." Ramachandran Iyer said, "What's wrong with you, Lakshmi? You've got such beautiful long hair. Why do you want your head to be shaved?" "No, Appa, I will not tell you, but I want my head to be shaved. I want my head to be shaved." Ramachandran, "No, it can't be done." Parvati and his mother kept on screaming from the other side. Lakshmi was in tears. She was bawling. She said, "Appa, you only read me the story of Raja Harishchandra the other day. You only told me that whatever promises you keep, you have to keep it up." Ramachandran Iyer was caught in an ethical dilemma. He didn't know what to say. Despite all the revolt, despite all the problems which were there, he decided that he had to do something which would build the trustworthiness of the child. He decided that day that if he did not shave his daughter's head the next day, she would learn not to keep up to her promises at a later point of time. That evening there was a terrible fight in the house between him, his mother and his wife, but he decided that her head had to be shaved. On Sunday, Lakshmi's head was shaved. On Monday morning, Lakshmi was left by her father to the school. You could imagine this. Lakshmi was walking into school with her blue uniform, her backpack, with a lunch box, and her head clean shaven with her big eyes and her face rounder than usual because of her baldness. And he kept looking at her. As he was looking, she stood at the gate. He said, "Go and put her, go and put her." She said, "No, Papa, I'm standing here." As he was standing there, another car stopped behind him, and another boy of 7 years old also jumped out of the car. He also had his head shaved. He was also wearing a blue uniform with a backpack and a water, and he walked up to Lakshmi. Ramachandra started thinking, is it the new uniform? Is it the new policy of the school that everybody has to shave their head? Is the school Sheeb Kumar school? But as he noticed, the boy went up to Lakshmi and they started talking and they started walking towards the school. Immediately, another lady got down from the other car and she came up to him and she said, "Is Lakshmi your daughter?" He said, "Yes." And without noticing, the lady started sobbing. She said, "What happened? Isn't it strange that your son has also shaved his head?" He said, "Yes. It's not that my son has shaved his head. My son has been suffering from leukemia, blood cancer, and because of chemotherapy, his head has got bald. Your daughter comes to my son every other week, and my son, because he gets teased in school, told, I'm not going to go to school. Last Friday, your daughter came and said, you come to school, Anirudh, even I will shave my head. Nobody will tease you, nobody will tease you. You come with me." And today your daughter has made that supreme sacrifice. As Lakshmi was walking towards the class, Ramachandran ran towards Lakshmi, bent down, caught her hand and said, "Putta, you have to give me a promise. Last life you were born, this life you are born as my daughter. In the next life you have to be born as my mother to teach me what true love is. Love is wanting for somebody what they want for themselves. It may not be a steady flame, but it is a steady sacrifice." Thank you.
How many of you have fallen in love with the story? I have. This actually imbibes the concept of love, and the best way to have said that was by PM Rajdeep Manwani. Let's give it up again for PM Rajdeep. Now we have a small networking break for 5 minutes. For the benefit of guests, washroom is towards the right, and we'll come back after 5 minutes. Segment of our meeting, which is table topics. So what's the similarity between table topics and your crush?
Both are confusing.
Both are spontaneous.
Yeah, also both increases your heartbeat.
Oh.
Yeah, sure. So, but you don't need to worry because today's Toastmaster is a very sweet and loving person, and he's going to calm all your anxieties with his loving and peaceful nature. He's been working as in the judicial department for some years, and now he's retired and living a peaceful life with his wife. I asked him, what is your favorite love story? And he said, I am living my favorite love story with my life, with every chapter becoming better than before. So please welcome our table topics master for today, Toastmaster Robinson D'Souza.
Thanks, Jewel, for the introduction. Today, we we are all celebrating Valentine's Day. I have brought my girl here. Girl for the last 48 years. 50. Number one. Let me introduce my girl to you. May I request Ina to stand up? Oh. This is a miracle. I will remember this day, Valentine's Day 2025, for the rest of my life. Two things happened for you. One, when I said 48, she said 50. Second, for the first time when I requested her to stand up, she stood up. This has not happened for the last 48 years. From today we have to celebrate each day as a Valentine's Day.
Sir, perhaps the even more, sir.
Please come. Thank you, Nina. There are few first timers here for Toastmasters meeting. Gopal Rajwan. Anybody else? First timers. Yeah. Yeah. See, what happens here is 3 sessions. You have witnessed the first session where pre-assigned speakers prepare their speeches according to guidelines, practice, and come and present the speeches. Second session, they took table topics. I give topics on the spot. They want to know on what topic they are going to speak. And you know, always I carry a few more mobiles when I return home. Yeah, please do it. Yeah, I lose my thought. See here, what I was talking. Can you?
Impromptu.
Yeah. Here, I give the topic and they have to speak here without any preparation. It's easy, in a sense. You have to watch our speakers here. Rajdeep Manwani, then Abhay Kothari, Alok, Ganesh, and several others, even Vijay. Just watch them how they do it. Follow them. That's how Sehwag succeeded to the great batsman of India. He wanted to be like him, Sachin Tendulkar. Similarly, you can do that one. Next one is that when I give the topic, listen. And when I call you, come slowly, don't rush. Make a statement. Support that statement with 2 or 3 ideas. Put some story of your life or incident and summarize it. Please try that one. Now to move on forward. Yeah, first. Lokesh Talale.
Thank you very much. Topic?
Love. Incidentally, he's a bachelor.
All right. So, year 1997, July. Sorry, this is 2 years ago. I saw something and I fell in love. First time in my life I fell in love. This was something, and as usual, you keep on looking at that and you want to be with that, right? And this was none other than a particular watch that I liked from their website. Really very beautiful, and when I read the description of this, being an engineer in profession, I went into the details that they have given the website, and it is really a mechanical engineering marvel. The way they put so much of science, so much of engineering in just a very small watch, and that really made me intellectually appreciate that particular watch. So you fall in not only just emotionally, not only with the beauty, but also with the brain of that particular watch.
And in January, I had an opportunity to go to another country, and I had opportunity to wear that particular watch because it is not available in India. And that was the best moment of my life. And yeah, that's what the love is about. Okay. Thank you.
I have brought chocolate for you, for every speaker who comes here. The next speaker, Palak Mehta. Palak Mehta is not here. He was here. Yeah, okay. Next, may I request Richard to speak on mother's love.
Your topic master, fellow Toastmasters, and distinguished guests, I have every reason to remember the love of my mother. Today, people, though I am not boasting, people appreciate my achievements, and they say you are someone who is admired about. And the main cause for it is none else than my mother. When maybe I was 4 years old, my mother was discussing with my father. At that time, we were staying in coffee estate, Chikmagalur, how to get him admitted to the schools. Because wherever we have gone, they were told he requires extra assistance so that we will not be able to take him, and we are unable to provide special assistance. But how to get him admitted? But anyway, all people are not same. There are people optimistic also, and I was admitted to school in Kulshekar, and the teachers were very much helpful. And my mom, every day afternoon, she used to bring food for me along with the servant girl, and that was a thing which was watched by so many people, because no other mother used to come than my mother. And today I owe whatever I have earned, and also the respect what I have earned, because of the contribution of none else than my mother, which I call the sacrifice. More than the contribution, it's a sacrifice, and I will always remain grateful for her, and her memory will be there with my life. Over to table.
Thank you, Richard. For the information of the guests and members, Mr. Richard retired after holding a very high post in Vijay Bank. The next topic, Indian culture and Valentine's Day. Indian culture and Valentine's Day. Madam Chaitra.
The first thing that comes to our mind when we talk about Valentine's Day is all the controversy that happens with our leaders in this country when it comes to love between young people. But I appreciate how it's changing now. Earlier, it was looked at as a really bad thing if two people were dating together. But as time has passed, we are slowly evolving as a culture, and I feel that it is becoming a more stable culture, so to say, because we have people who love each other and know each other for a long period of time before they get married. But if you actually think back, it hasn't always been like this, right? In the past, we had famous love stories with our historical figures dating back to the ancient times. As a culture, we always have we've always had romances that were legendary. But somewhere in the middle, we lost sight of our roots, and we became a little more strict about these relationships. I am glad to see us going back to who we were in the ancient past.
Interesting topic should be flirting. May I request Bryan Nelson to join?
Love has not changed ever since Sheeb's flirty love letters to his wife to the modern times of texting. Flirting is a very, again as Indian culture, a very controversial subject for many. For guys, there's a difference between being flirty and being funny. For the other gender, it's all the same. I think many of you resonate. It's again like table topics. It's more like there's a mango tree up there. You throw a stone, see which mango falls. That is what you do with flirting. You throw a statement at that person. If it clicks, she clicks. If it doesn't click, maybe her best friend clicks. Something will click at the end of the day. But let me tell you this. When I learned the art of catapult by my brother, he is a master at it. And when he tries to, it's not in the matter of flirting, but when he tries to put down mangoes on his first attempt, he did not succeed. There are multiple attempts, multiple learnings along the way. The same goes with learning. You don't achieve it on day one. You need multiple attempts, and there will be one day where that will click. I'm back.
I think I chose the right person. She has great experience. Now, significance of Valentine's Day. Significance of Valentine's Day. I request Mr. Vishal.
We all know that St. Valentine's established this day so that we celebrate love. But what is love? In my experience, love is like the moon. It slowly waxes and then it vexingly wanes just as quickly. But somewhere in the middle, you are enamored by the full moon. Valentine's Day is a moment that you can take some time out of your day, take some time out of your busy schedule to enjoy the things that you love. And when I say love, most of you immediately think probably about eros, which is romantic love. But according to the Greeks, there were multiple types of love. There's agape, the love for your nation, for the entirety of humankind. Philia, which is brotherly love. And love for family. Take a moment to celebrate all types of love in Valentine's Day. Maybe it's how the butterfly dances in the wind. Maybe it's how the sunlight cascades through the trees. take a moment to enjoy whatever makes your life a little bit better. And that is what I think Valentine's Day is all about. Over to you.
Next topic, ideal gift, Mr. Veeresh.
Thank you, table topic master. Ideal gift. In today's day and time, I think ideal gift would be to get good air, which should have been the basic of things, but that has become very costly nowadays. This is to say physically, but in order to look at this from psychologically or from the well-being of the emotions, what is an ideal gift? Ideal gift is somebody who can listen to your inner voice. As somebody, a friend or your family member, or it could be your love, who can listen to you, who can understand you, who can just give that moment to you to express yourself without having any inhibitions. I think any more than a costly or a physical object, just giving this emotional support to provide that mental well-being, that I think is an ideal gift, because we all know how much human beings are suffering through depression and various other mental illness. So just be that person on this Valentine's Day. Just listen to your friend or your family member to let them speak whatever it is there in their head without any judgment. So thank you.
Romance and Valentine's Day. And to speak on this subject, yes, Chiranth, you.
Romance and Valentine's Day. I think like 1.5 or 2 minutes that is given to me, probably it will be an idle minute. I will be standing here and you will be seeing me. If I want to recall from my life what is romance and what is Valentine's Day, because I've never believed in Valentine's Day. It's not like something to offend someone. So it doesn't change the person who is there like on the 13th February or like on the 15th February. They'll be the same. And on the concept of it, like even I've seen like people who are in a long distance relationship, they send out gifts on this. Mostly everyone send out, and probably like you'll go and you'll hand out to your partner. But the thing is, like if you're in a long distance and if you're sending out, so I've seen this happening with my friend, and I just asked him, why are you sending out a gift? Ultimately a delivery guy is going to give it to you. No, that is my concept. So if you are in love with someone and if you appreciated that, like be there. That is the I think you should how you should celebrate Valentine's Day, like by giving the time. That's it.
Shivangi, do you see red hearts everywhere? All around? It's your topic.
The red heart has for long signified love. So I'm going to speak about how the love that I saw my grandparents and my parents have for each other has shaped the love that I want in my life. My grandparents told me a story that will stick with me long after they are gone. My grandfather was in a lot of financial difficulty. He had to take care of us 8 to 9 other siblings who were growing up. There was no other elder person in the family. He was married to my grandmother. One room house, all the 8 kids sleeping in the hall, and my grandparents had that room to take. Every second Friday of the month, my grandfather would get badam halwa, a sweet which would be not more than 2 by 2 centimeters in size, full of ghee, very costly at that time. After having dinner, he would slyly hide that badam halwa in his bag and take it to the room. My grandparents would lock the door. They would open the wrapper and share that small badam halwa with each other. That was their one moment of showing each other that no matter what happens in our life, despite all the struggles, we will always have this. They made a statement to me that day, through that story. Indirectly, unintentionally, they told me, this is the kind of love you should have for your partner. Partner, I saw that you were perfect and I loved you. Then I saw that you were not so perfect and I loved you even more. Thank you.
My love story, Girish.
Today happens to be my 14th year of engagement with my wife. So that is the reason I don't want to go to my love story. But yeah, when you say that love, I mean, just know one of the speakers. For me, love as a concept has evolved over time. Back in those days when I was watching movie with my parents sitting, even a small song with a romantic song where Dr. Rajkumar would be there, that itself is an essence. Wow, what a love it is. Right? Now today you see movies where it is too much. Okay, you don't feel that there's a love factor in that. I mean, love is, in my way, I believe it's more towards respect to the other person who is there as your life partner. And Janu, it's for you. Of course, I missed you in the morning, but then once again, I'm going to use this video and record. Sorry. I was shocked when you said when you started. So I'm going to use this video recording to show it to my wife. That's it. So thank you for being with me, helping me understand what I am. And always telling me, whatever it is, good or bad, staying with me. Thank you. I see you this time.
My idea of friendship. Bhaavya.
Friendship is something I'm thinking a lot about because see, when we are in college space or in a given classroom, we are all together. Like we meet each other every day, we talk, we share our problems. But when we leave college, when we are not in that environment, staying connected with people is difficult. And this, I feel this is the time that we need most friends, because you need someone to share your problems. You need to tell that you're going through this, the other person tells, and as both of us are in the same age group only, so we can relate it to better. But and other thing that I find in friendship, it should be two-way. So like I was talking to my brother, so he tells me if you want to judge a friend, how to judge him, like simply say no for something, and if that person accepts your no and he's ready to accept that you are not available, you will be there for him or her later, then that person is your true friend. And if that person only reaches out to you for some favor or work, then he's not your friend. But if he's genuinely reaching out to you and helping you, then he or she is your friend. Thank you.
celebrate Valentine's Day. May I request Kenneth to join me?
I think the best way to celebrate Valentine's Day is what I'm doing right now. Come to PTMC, listen to all the great speeches and everyone's great wise words in respect to love, and just think about everything that you want in the relationship in the future. Yeah, that's the best way to celebrate Valentine's Day, and spending time with your friends. So that is my ideal Valentine's Day. So thank you all for being a part of it.
When I started the session, I saw Kenneth going out. I didn't believe that he will come back. Doesn't matter. This is how we learn. Legacy of love. Legacy of love. Sri Shakti.
Legacy of love. I think the legacy of love has not changed with time, right? It has always been the same. It is just that with the generations that we see, like Gen X, Gen Y, and Gen Zs, right? The way they understand what is love and how they celebrate had changed, right? So even now, right, when we think in the past, right, whatever has happened in the past, like you hear as epics, take Ramayana, or you take any story which any culture embraces, right? You will see it is all celebrating love in some fashion, right? And love has been always the most celebrated one in the humankind, and I think it's ever going to be the same way, right? It's just that depending on what has evolved as a generation, right, we celebrate it differently.
Am I seeing Amrit come here? Not yet. Come. Thank you. I would like to share with you this Valentine's Day. There was one person by name Saint Valentine. He was imprisoned in the year 269 AD. The accusation against him was that he was helping persecuted Christians. He was performing the marriages of Christian couples. And in the imprisonment, while he was in the prison, he came to know that jailer's daughter was blind. He prayed for her and she regained eyesight. On 14 February 269, he was beheaded. Before he was beheaded, he wrote a note, a letter to the daughter of the jailer and signed it Saint Valentine. I think that's the day we celebrate here. Thank you very much for participating in this session.
Toastmaster Robinson is our founding president of the club, and there's an interesting story about how his daughter found her Valentine through our BTMC club. So BTMC club has also acted as a cupid in his daughter's life. So just let's give it up once again for Toastmaster Robinson. Now we go to the third section of the meeting, which is the general evaluation. They say that love is a temporary illness which can be cured by the medicine of marriage. So to lead the general evaluation session, we have someone who has tasted this bittersweet medicine of marriage, and someone who shares his experience delightfully, his experience and also of the fellow poor men, delightfully and with a tinge of humor, and has us laughing in splits. He's always on top of the world. He is a trainer by profession, but is also the heart of our club. Please join me in welcoming DTM Vijayanand.
They say love is like heaven, but it could also hurt like hell. Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, welcome guests. Don't get scared by this quote. Let me extrapolate this and use it Toastmasters. Love is like heaven. Yes, feedback is like heaven. Don't worry, feedback won't hurt like hell. I will not be curt. I will not tell, I will try to sell my ideas regarding my views, my opinions of this meeting. Let's see how the meeting went. Meeting 1466. I walked in at 5:51 p.m. this evening, and we had more than half a dozen members. Mr. President was there, and we had, true to the theme, the President was surrounded by 6 young ladies. No, I mean all helping him set up the meeting. That's what I meant to say. I could barely see one gentleman. He's just living, he's taking the theme very seriously, Mr. President. Jokes apart, I realized that our Sergeant at Arms, Amit Kaur, she's traveling, I'm told, and Toastmaster Shreya, did she delegate this to you, outsource it to you, or you, how was it, ma'am? Young lady? Oh, acha. Sub-delegation again, okay, fine. Okay. Now the point, Toastmaster teaches leadership skills. And since Sergeant at Arms is traveling, she delegated to Prakash, who's the VPPR. But since he could not make this meeting, he requested Toastmaster Shreya, and he selected the right person. Now when we delegate, friends, we have to delegate to a person who's got the competence. And for those who are not aware, Toastmaster Shreya was the Sergeant at Arms in the previous term. So well done to Prakash. Toastmaster Shreya for delegation, and Toastmaster Shreya for doing an excellent job. Your introduction of the President is very good. When I came here, the board, with your lovely handwriting, it's not easy week after week, and with your other sub-team to set up the meeting with all the red hearts, love is in the air, fantastic job done. Just one small suggestion, those customary 3-year announcements, right? First, second, and you said third, but not the last. I was wondering how many more to come. Guests might get scared. So I think he meant third, but not the least. Not the least as it comes to that. One more thing, perhaps the grammarian might like to throw some light. Your crutchword seems to be you know a couple of times. Because you've been the Sergeant at Arms for the last 6 months, you're very confident on stage. I don't know why, maybe because of less preparation, perhaps that happened. For a job well done, what do we give our pocket rocket dynamo? President came onto the stage before he did the address. He requested Toastmaster Bryan to read out the minutes, not the minutes, the gist of the previous meeting. Just one recommendation, not for the President, for all of us. I don't know why we use the word acting. I mean, what on earth? What was he acting? He was actually performing his job. So maybe we could consider saying the stand-in secretary or the stand-in Sergeant at Arms. Even Toastmaster Shreya told me when I came, I'm the acting Sergeant at Arms. I said, you're not acting, lady. You're the stand-in Sergeant at Arms. Small becomes the nomenclature. And always the President requests members to withhold the applause. Today, because love was in the air, he forgot to mention that. So it's a very sacred thing when the minutes are being read, the previous meeting, that the members withhold their applause. And only after the minutes stand past, do the members applaud. One small recommendation. Thank you, Toastmaster Bryan, for doing a good job in the absence of our Secretary Toastmaster Mahesh Lokesh. The President always has a story, and this time a very personal one, about his ex girlfriend. Which kind of exactly our counter, our correction. The ex-girlfriend turns out to be the present wife. Toast, Mr. President, one recommendation. If I were in your place, I would have revealed that at the end of the story. It was an anti-climax, became a wet blanket. You have narrated the entire story and you're wondering, oh, Mr. President has 2 girls in his life. And then in the end we realize, oh no, she's one and the same. Small recommendation. That about your introduction of the Toastmasters today. Absolutely out of this world. Terrific, fantastic, Mr. President. What words? You went on and on and on. And the Toastmaster couldn't take it. She was sitting over there for 3 minutes. She got restless. She was scared. I would have put the rough under her feet. The young lady is super confident. She did a data analysis. No, this is going out of hand. She took 3 paces towards the stage. Then the president, oh my God, I've got to give it to you. Mr. President, just a small recommendation. Your introductions are par excellence. Maybe you just want to brevity, just concise a bit. For both the standing secretary and our outstanding president, a round of applause. Then we had the jewel of our club coming to the stage. And I learned from the lady, she's doing it for the second time. It's not easy being a Toastmaster today. Even if you do it the second time, it takes a lot of guts, a lot of gumption, a lot of grit. Well done, girl. Your introduction to the speakers, you've done your work very well. On Tuesday, Monday or Tuesday, she, sir, can we give her a call? I said, sure. So I have 10 questions to ask you. I was wondering, was Toastmaster or tabletop master? Then she realized the silence. Oh no, I made a mistake. So don't worry, sir. You can't. I know you can't answer all the questions now. You send me a reply to WhatsApp. So what I mean to say is the prep done by Toastmaster Jewel was excellent. All the speakers, role takers will agree with me. They said that 10 questions were set out in advance. Very well thought of. A lot of effort, young ladies. Not. If you ask me even to get 3 questions, I'll be questioning myself. But you had 10 questions. Amazing. A lot of prep work done. Your story about the family, and I love the transition. It was very brief the story, and very quickly you connected the dots with Toastmasters International for the benefit of the guests. Just one small recommendation here. We had 2-3 guests come for the first time. You could tell, look at the make eye contact with them and say, guests, like we have Gopal, you know, correct? Yeah. I spoke to him in the evening and look, make eye contact with guests and say, for the benefit of the guests come for the first time. Then it resonates with them. Because we members have heard it many times. We have guests coming for 3, 5, 6, 9 meetings, they know it. So when you make eye contact, small things like that. You had 3 letters, something, right? The prepared speeches were connected to the letters. Very fascinating. Prepared speeches, love letter. Very fascinating. Then the second and third, more letters only.
No, not letters. Second is like when someone asks me a date, like how do you respond quickly, thinking what you're doing.
Very nice. So that could be a hate letter. And the third one, evaluation. How you, okay, very nice, wonderful. You invited the tag team and Mr. Timer, right? Super confident. You came here, my job is to ensure all of you finish your speech on time. Mr. Timer, one humble recommendation. That's a little scary. If I were in your place, I would tell the audience, dear members and guests, my job is to ensure, right, that I just send out the timing notices on either a card or a. And then, if you don't finish on time, I will ring the bell. That was a little scary. So just in case you don't see the cards for some reason, you will hear the bell going off. The Toastmasters teaches us how we have to give the unpleasant news in a more tactful, diplomatic manner. Small recommendations. The R counter, I know we are in Bangalore, which is traffic gridlock. Even Shakespeare will move in his grave. You said tongue gridlock. Verbal gridlock. Sorry, my listeners are very bad, Srinivas. Okay, verbal gridlock. I stand corrected. And the grammarian, our yoga instructor, you have to get back to yoga for this. Grammar mishaps. I mean, new members and guests will get petrified. That word is a little scary. Maybe you want to say, somewhere we slip in grammar, I will gently point those things out. Little heavy word. Now, small recommendation again, when the validator have to mention that I'm reading on the guidelines. One of our very confident lady evaluators said, the target speaker. No, that is used in a competition. Here at Toastmasters, we can just say the speaker that doesn't think so on. So let's avoid using the word target speaker, which is only in competitions. Minor recommendation. Back to our the jewel diamond of our club, the TOASTMASTER. While introducing the first speaker, you said the first speaker proposed her. I thought what you meant to say was the first speaker proposed to her. Without the word TO, the entire meaning changes. Small recommendation. Toastmaster Jewel, you were so enamored in taking the word of the meeting so seriously that while introducing Toastmaster Souza, you were so enamored by the achievements, suddenly you went silent. Toastmaster Robinson, should I come on stage? Should I get there? And then you saw his face. That's impromptu thinking. Thinking on your feet. Let's welcome Toastmaster Robinson. That's how we go on. If you forget the introductions, no worry. Just look at this person and call him welcome. Now, Toastmaster Jewel. I've been very critical in giving areas of improvement because I don't believe in giving a whitewash. I want to end on a positive note by saying you were super confident, lady. You did not stand here when I'm standing. You stepped not behind the lectern. You came here and you use lectern as a shield. I love standing here. The reason I'm standing there is I have my notes there. You stood here, and the best part, as a TMOD, what did the lady do? Did she have? No. Sorry?
No flash. No notes.
No notes, no cue cards. So what do we give our Toastmaster Day? Toastmaster Jewel, the Jewel Club. Let's move on to the speech evaluators. The first speech will be valued by Toastmaster, our the past president. Immediately I'm corrected. Let's invite our past president for her speech evaluation. Round of applause, please.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, esteemed guests, and our speaker, Toastmaster Anirudh. Toastmaster Anirudh, today's theme is Love Should Be a Steady Flame, but you taught us knowledge of finance should be a steady flame today. Your project had two main purposes. One was a speech with a well-defined purpose. In my opinion, you enamored us with today's burning and thriving subject on how one must be aware of today's financial market. I guess a subject that many of us take it very lightly, and I consider myself also one among them. So thank you for enlightening us, and I think in today's time we all need to know what today's market is and how we need to invest. Otherwise, we'll all be in a very sad soup. The second main purpose was a well-structured speech, and according to me, you hit the nail. You had the context very well set as soon as you came onto the stage, what you're speaking about. Your body had the history, the strategy of the strategic moves that they took, US took, and the global economic system. Everything was on point. You also had a very good conclusion, which you only focused on three main points one needs to focus on. You didn't kind of put too much of information. So in my opinion, your speech was very, very well structured. If I may give you suggestions that can help your speech go a notch higher, I have 3 points. One is to focus and concentrate a little more on your pace and pause. Because I felt at many places your pace was very fast and you didn't apply pauses at the places that you had, at points where you had to put across. Being an informative speech, I felt that if the pauses were the right place, those important information that you were sharing us, it would have well synced into our mind and we could pay attention to all those thoughts. The second one that I also came across at many times in your speech, you used Toastmaster. And we are in a place where not only Toastmasters are there, we do have people apart from Toastmasters. So maybe you could have referred as my dear friends, remember friends. So these little words, if they're taken care when you're addressing a larger audience, it would really add on. And the third thing, that's again my opinion, your speech title was very long. The US dollar, the thing. I felt you could have just removed the US dollar part and just had the remaining part of your speech. That could have created a little bit of intriguing, kind of like, what is this? I think something like burning drug or something that you had. It would have been a little more intriguing. So just keep your speech title short as possible. To summarize, it was a great speech, a great orator, you have great stage presence. Just a bit of attention on such a given that you are fantastic. All the best for your upcoming speeches.
Yes, like Toastmaster Priyanka mentioned, two main objectives: the well-defined purpose and the structured speech. Both boxes tick. Regarding the structure of the speech, Toastmaster Priyanka, she didn't mean it; it just slipped out. The betterment, she said, your body had something. I think the betterment, the body of your speech. Moving on to the second evaluation, may I request Toastmaster Abhay to please do the honors and give us feedback. Applause, please, Toastmaster Abhay.
The essence of public speaking is to tell a story and make a point. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, guests, general evaluator.
Good evening.
And Toastmaster Srinivas, I thought that you shared a very personal story today and accomplished one of the project guidelines, which says that this speech should not be a report but an experience. So this was really very well done. And these are the parts. Now let's come to the parts where your insurance claims were accepted by the audience. I think that during the story you did try your signature style of humor and the audience really did like it. So that was really well done. And your build up to the negotiation part was good. You used some of the C's of storytelling, which was creating conflict and using characters, with your wife and Ashish, the insurance agent. So very well done, claims accepted. Now also you did come to the parts where you did mention the two types of negotiation styles that you use, that is the collaborative and the competitive. That's win-win and lose-win, right? So use those two really well. Now let's come to the part where you had to pay high premiums. There are two aspects in which I would like to put forth my observations, that is the delivery and the content. Now on the aspects of storytelling, if you observed Dr. Razi, who came right after you, how did he start the story with? He immediately said, on a breezy Saturday morning in Chennai. Immediately the entire room was transported to that breezy Saturday morning in Chennai, someone sitting in their balcony and having a cup of coffee. And that created a lot of imagination. So I would recommend you to not start with pleasantries and declarations such as good evening, Toastmasters and guests. Excuse me. Just begin with the story, and then the essence of your speech will not get diluted. You will actually enhance the essence. Now, the second part, I would like to ask the audience: were you able to differentiate between the dialogues of Srinivas's wife, Ashish, the insurance agent, and Srinivas? No. So Dr. Razi also did that very well. If you observe him, so my recommendation to you would be: you created dialogues and characters, but use voice modulation to enhance their presence in your story. So that way it would be really well. Now, I also thought that the last part about your content was that the premise of negotiation was not a natural fit to the story that you had selected. So I think that you might want to think about reconsidering this project, perhaps with the same story told differently or a different story altogether. So all in all, this was a truly honest attempt at trying to do this project. It went a little off track, so please try to begin without any declarations or any pleasantries. Use voice modulation and choose a different story. With that, I'm sure that your insurance claims will be accepted. Over to you.
Toastmaster Abhay, you did tell us about the different types of negotiation, comparative and collaborative. I was looking for some more. I was in your place, perhaps for all of us to learn some aspects of negotiation. Like for instance, something we call, there's a negotiation terms called BATNA. It's not partner, brother, BATNA. That's best alternative to a negotiation agreement. Just in case a negotiation doesn't happen, that's the BATNA. What do you have? What's your plan B? Something we call ZOPA, Z-O-P-A, another acronym. Zone of possible agreement. It means are we following on that zone? Then something we call trade-offs. We trade off something which is, doesn't have value to us, but a lot of value to the other person. Those aspects could perhaps add value not to the speaker, but to all of us. Something you might want to consider. Moving on to the third speech, may I request Toastmaster Vivek to give his feedback. Round of applause, please.
I'm cognizant of the fact that I'm evaluating a legend here, so let us not call it an evaluation, but a fan report. So, when we narrate a story, what can we learn from this legend? Now, as soon as Abhay told, whenever he takes the stage, he does not waste time, good evening, thank you Toastmaster, nothing, because the energy is very high when you shake your hand with the Toastmaster of the day and he begins with the story. There is no time wasted, so he captures you completely at that moment. So then the narrator took us to a typical Tambram home. Tambram is Tamil Brahmin home with this elaborate description. If you look at it, it was Ramachandra Iyer. It was not just Ramachandra. Then it was Upma. It was not just a breakfast, which is very typical of a Tambram home. And then you have elements like party, names like Parvati, Appa. All these are very much in a very, very Tambram, which is necessary when you narrate a story. Using the right one. Just using Ramu or Raju or something will not go well. You have to, that Iyer was hit that. It's very, very typical. Then you have to use the descriptive language to take the audience to that place. Okay? Like the wave, the breeze, the whisper when the child whispered into her father's ears, and yet that whisper, usually children whisper and still the others can hear it. You see that? It's so well done. It's not really a whisper, right? It's so well done. I felt like I was almost there. In Rajdeep's, Dr. Rajdeep's own language, he kept the wound open for a very long time because he did not reveal the reason till the very end. As soon as he revealed the reason, he wound it up with a simple message. That is like, what happens is that when you tell a story, you are capturing the right brain of a person. And you have the right brain under your complete control. And the moment the right brain, you end the story, it's gone. And then he immediately wound up and gave a very objective evaluation of that. It's excellent to do that way. Well, I must say that even the brightest stars have their shadows. So likewise, let me share a few things, but could have been better. Once I felt that I heard the shaving of the head was out, I felt the story had a predictable end because predictability is not very usual with Dr. Rajdeep's story because you know the shaving of the head is associated with cancer. And then in Tamil households, small girl childs are called Tangame, Maile. It's not Putta. Putta is a very Kannada word. So when you intermingle that, right, it's a blemish, but in a storytelling that has to be taken care. That research has to be taken care. It cannot be Putta. Putta, that's Kannada word. So you can't mingle that. Again, having said this, I must say that we learned the art of perfect storytelling today and not just a perfect story. Back to you, Chaitra.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vivek. One aspect of storytelling, many aspects, plots, characters, vivid description, dialogue, delivery. In that aspect, I was wondering whether you could perhaps suggest to PM Rajdeep, voice modulation, there was mimicry about the lady. I'm not sure there's room for some improvement, some change, just my thoughts to you as a fellow with that meeting. Moving on, we have the table topic session conducted by the founding president of our club, Toastmaster Souza. Lovely, he comes, presence of mind, guests are wondering what's going on. Of course, Julie did mention we have 3 sections to meeting, 3 sessions. He did a recap. We're done and dusted with the first one. We're going to the second one. Second bit, he makes members feel comfortable. He explains to guests what it's all about. Presence of mind. And he also asked the first time guests. A couple of you all, gentlemen to my right, a couple of you all stood up.
Yes.
Ma'am, are you going for the first time, ma'am? Will you come earlier?
Me?
Yeah.
Yes, this is my first time.
First time, okay, ma'am. So, I think you were there when the session was being conducted, the table topics, the topic was given. Yeah. So, for their benefit, Toastmaster Robinson, sir, well done. Very nice. He also made the people feel comfortable. Come slowly to the stage. Now, sir, that's a double-edged sword. In New York, we have two routes, or routes, like the Americans say, short and the scenic. Many Toastmasters have taken the latter, the scenic route. Even they are seated here, they take the scenic route. So enamored by New York. Now imagine taking the scenic route and walking slowly. So that's a double-edged sword. Having said that, sir, in spite of all of that, you meet up people, you call a lot of people. Very easy topics to speak, all revolving around the theme love, Valentine, fantastic. Just first topic, so you had a prop, right, for Toastmaster location. He came on stage here. He was waiting for the topic. You already thrust something into his hand. He's wondering what's going on. If I was in your place, I would have told the members. Now you can see a prop. This is what is your topic is all about. You have to speak on that. So this is one small recommendation. Members who haven't spoken in the table topics, who are not speakers or role takers, quick raise of hands please. I can see Akash and Puneet, to the best of my limited knowledge. Is there anyone else? No, okay sir. So I'm just wondering, since we had time, perhaps we could have, because it's really, when we come braving Bangalore's traffic, with the traffic gridlock, we don't want the verbal gridlock over here, Srinivas. So perhaps it's a small thing. So we had time, sir. I'm sure you do lovely homework, sir. You have time, but there's a lot of topics. There's a small, perhaps two members who missed out. Ladies and gentlemen, what do we give a Toastmaster who's been a Toastmaster more than 3 decades? Who's 3 decades, more than 3 decades Toastmasters, seen it all, been there, done that, and you'll agree with me, tons of commitment, not only in the club, behind the screens, mentoring so many people, helping us. Now, let's give it up for Toastmaster Robinson Souza.
For every meeting, there is a tabletop master, and those who wish to speak on the session, kindly give your names. So to Akash, if you had given your name, I was waiting. You must come forward. Unless you decide to improve upon yourself, you can't.
So what sir is saying, you must flirt with the stage. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Right. Okay. Before I sign off, tag team, we won't like the report from the time manager. Please come, my friend.
So the meeting started at sharp 6:30. In prepared speeches, Toastmaster Anirudh took 7 minutes 30 seconds. That was a close call. Toastmaster Srinivas V took 6 minutes 51 seconds. DTM Rajdeep Manwani took 7 minutes 16 seconds. In table topics, except Dr. Richard, who exceeded Toastmaster Richard, who exceeded by 6 seconds, 2 minutes, total time was 2 minutes 6 seconds, and Toastmaster Kenneth, which was 35 seconds only. Everyone has qualified for it. That's it from my side. I'm sorry. In evaluation side, Toastmaster Priyanka took 3 minutes 18 seconds. Toastmaster Abhay Kothari took 3 minutes 8 seconds, and Toastmaster Vivek Vijayan took 3 minutes 10 seconds. That's it from my side.
Your intentions are very good. You got a heart of gold. Sometimes the words are scary. That was a close call. Okay. Moving on to our counter. Please, the stage is gridlocked for you. Round of applause, Mr. Shivangi.
As an
bit of time crossing the gridlocks and ensure that the verbal communication is becoming better and better. And when the big moment comes, when you are about to propose somebody, they are supposed to say yes. The following people are already been qualified for that. Dr. Rajdeep Manwani, DTM Dr. Rajdeep Manwani, Toastmaster Vishal and Toastmaster Shivangi. And Toastmaster Shreya, Toastmaster Srinivas V, and Toastmaster Bhaavya and Toastmaster Shakti are supposed to improve their verbal communications and rest all well within the 5 clutch words limits. Over to you.
Toastmaster Srinivas, just a suggestion, recommendation. Let us not say you're supposed to improve. We can suggest you may want to consider focusing on these areas. Otherwise, you will get brain drain. Moving on to the grammarian, Toastmaster Rashi. Round of applause, please, to Toastmaster Rashi.
Starting with the not so good usage of the English language, near to Christmas could have been close to Christmas. Stare on me was very much, could have been stared at me. Researching on my Google should have been researching on Google. With this, my friend should have been with this, my friends. Hand over Toastmaster of the day should have been handed over to the Toastmaster of the day. Whatever you want should have been whatever I want in that context. Who is admired about should have been who is admired at. On the concept of it should have been at the concept of it was. Watching movie should have been watching a movie. Sharing us should have been sharing with us. And moving on to the good language is family showed the green flag. Marriage is space for love and sarcasm. From land of pages to stages. Prudent financial decisions. Geopolitical instability. Discussion of I to we. Hand in the 220-volt socket. Caught in an ethical dilemma. Love need not be a steady flame, but a steady sacrifice. Living my love story with my wife. Controversial subject. Love is like the moon. Bangalore Toastmaster Club is a cupid. Love is a temporary illness cured by the medicine of marriage. Love is in the air. Fan report. Kept the wound open. Brighter stars have their shadows. And you must flirt with the stage. The word of the day was used a total of 5 times. Once by Vishal, thrice by BT and Rajanan, and once by Toastmaster Priyanka. Back to you.
Good listening skills. I will use the word for the 4th time. Our leopard, our leopard Vishal, I think, oh, he's there. He got the chocolate. He gave it to his neighbor, the grammarian. She was so enamored by the chocolate. She unwrapped it, the crunchy, crispy, and she was enjoying. She was totally enamored by it. Thank you, Toastmaster Rashi. Before I sign off, I have a very similar quote which Toastmaster Jewel had mentioned. So it says, love is temporary sanity. Love is temporary sanity. Marriage is the permanent cure. I want to extrapolate this at Toastmasters. Stage fear is only temporary. And Toastmasters is the permanent cure for stage fear. With this, back to the demo.
Thank you, DJ Vijayanand, for your wonderful feedback. So your links have been shared in the video. So password for today's 4 times 7, 7777. So 14th Feb is also a little different because of the 2019 Pulwama attack. When a convoy of vehicles carrying Indian security personnel on the Jammu-Srinagar National Highway was attacked by a vehicle-borne suicide bomber. So let's also remember the martyrs in the attack as well. So wishing you all a happy Valentine's Day and signing it off to the president.
Give a round of applause for Toastmasters General. Before I close, I want to thank Bryan, Toastmaster Bryan, Toastmaster Priyanka, Toastmaster Shreya, Toastmaster Rashi, and Toastmaster Vishal for stepping in and supporting us to arrange this room. Thank you so much. Give a round of applause for them. And for our GP Education Toastmaster Chaitra for arranging such a fabulous role players. Thank you so much. And I think before she gets time to write, I would like to invite Akash to speak a few words. Maybe I can give you the topic. Yes. Happiness is an inside job. Happiness is an inside job. So Toastmaster Akash, welcome.
So you should be happy. Wait, I understand.
Happiness is an inside job. Or you want
okay,
to
I got it. I thought I'd get something regarding love or something like that. Okay. Yeah, I agree with this topic because you need to be happy within yourself. You don't need external factors to come in and force you to be happy. For example, on a Monday morning, if you get up with a grumpy attitude that I have to go to college or office, it will not be a very happy day. But if you get up with the attitude that, it's a new week, there are a lot of new possibilities and opportunities for me, with a more positive and happy attitude, inside yourself, it will be a far better week. Since Valentine's Day today, you might get up with the attitude on Monday that I might meet the chosen one this week or something like that. So if you get up with a positive attitude and have that happiness inside you, rather than using external factors for it, you will have a far better time. So the happiness must come from inside you. Thank you.
Now the awards. The best auxiliary role taker award goes to Toastmaster Rashi Malgota. I was flirting with Table Topics Speaker Award goes to the Master of Flirting, Toastmaster Bryan Souza. The Best Evaluator Award goes to Toastmaster Veeresh. Best Role Taker Award goes to Distinguished Toastmaster Vijay Anand. And Best Speaker Award goes to Distinguished Toastmaster Dr. Rajdeep Manwani. Best Dressed Award for the male goes to DTM Vijay Anand. And the best female Toastmaster judge. I request all the winners to come back onto the stage and pause for a photo. snacks here. I request all of us to pick up the snacks. And we have a major event coming up next week, the same time, 6:30 p.m. The International Speech Contest. I request every one of you to cheer up for the contestant as well as come here and be present. Thank you so much. And with this, I close the meeting number 1466.